out. I am finally reading The Summer I Turned Pretty series. I have not even watched the TV show. I'm 23 years old and I somehow never read these when I was younger. And I somehow managed to avoid all spoilers. I know it's like a love triangle situation, but I don't know who she ends up with. So I've thought at this point, I am going to see a spoiler eventually, so I might as well just do it now. It's also like 110 degrees outside, so it's not like I have any more true summer to wait for. This is as good as it's gonna get, thank God. I have the house to myself for the next few days, so it's going to be quiet and perfect for a nice readathon. I kind of want to knock out like one of these books every day. I unfortunately don't have a beach I can go to because I live in Oklahoma. I would love to have nice beach scenes of me reading, but it's like 110. I'm gonna burn, it's gonna be bad. I don't know, if there's like clouds appearing on one of these days, I might go like sit by the lake and read or something. It's just so hot and there's so many West Nile infested mosquitoes. However, I do have this cute little covered porch area that could be kind of a vibe. It's also like 80 freaking degrees in there, but this is my cute little mermaid t-shirt. It says, "A siren needs her morning coffee before a day of wrecking ships and drowning men." We love to see it. But yeah, I'm just gonna begin reading these from the very beginning and give you my thoughts and reactions. I think it'll be fun. I'm not going in with like crazy high expectations. I'm not expecting a literary masterpiece. I just want to be entertained and I want to live vicariously through these beachside characters since I cannot. So my friend who sent me these copies literally wrote, okay, so she sent me these like 6 months ago. "Merry Christmas, let me know what you think of the boys. I'm not a fan." So we don't like the two male characters, I guess. Also, why is this font so incredibly large? This is not going to take any time at all to get through. The very first page says, "I truly believe that in every girl's life there is that one golden summer when boys are finally looking at you and you're looking back." Princess is listening. That was my inspiration for The Summer I Turned Pretty, that moment in time when everything's right on the verge of happening, blah blah. When boys are finally looking at you and you're looking back. Speak for yourself, girl. For me, it was grown-ass men. Why does my face look hypothermic? I look like I have the same tones as my hair for some reason. I'm eating Ukrainian borscht and I can't stop reading long enough to eat because it's really good. Her friend's mother, who owns the beach house that she stays at every summer, says, like, "I always believed you were destined for one of my sons." And later on in the book, you find out that they're like rich. I mean, their beach house isn't anything extravagant, but like Belly, the main character, only realizes later on that they are richer than Belly's family. When a rich woman says to you, you are destined for one of her sons, you listen to her. I am dead exhausted. I have so much to do and I'm already falling behind on how much I was supposed to read, but we are on day number 2. I have beach shirt number 2. It's also got a design on the back, so we're on theme still, but oh my god, I only read like 50 pages of this, but I'm loving how fun it is so far. It's just a very fun, vibey beach romance. It's very immersive. Like, I feel like I'm there at the beach, and that's just really what I wanted at this time, because obviously I don't have that opportunity. So now I'm just gonna eat my pad thai in the kitchen and try to catch up on my book before I have to do more work. I think I'm gonna save reading in here for tomorrow because it's already getting dark. My meal is nothing glamorous in the slightest. It's just a frozen pad thai that I heated up in 3 minutes. I just really don't have time right now. So I'm almost halfway done with the first one now. If they didn't put One of the Boys by Katy Perry in the show, I'm gonna be upset. From my understanding, it uses like Taylor Swift's entire discography. I just keep hearing Katy Perry's One of the Boys in this, especially the line, "The way you look at me is kind of like a little sister." Also, I don't understand how in the beginning of the book she romanticizes this summer house like crazy, and then later on we learn like she was always left out of everything because she was the only girl. I don't know, but maybe this is an accurate thing that we as like younger girls did with romanticizing the shit out of something that really wasn't that great. It's been like an entire day of me getting work done and reading, and I am almost done. But freaking St. Ives apricot scrub, people. St. Ives apricot scrub. You can tell this was written in 2009. Belly's a little inconsistent. First, she talks about how amazing these summers at the beach house are, and then she later shows us that she's like ignored constantly by these boys. A little earlier in the book, she said she prefers the pool to the beach, and now she's saying she loves swimming in the ocean and then letting the sun bake the sand off of her, and then getting back in the ocean and then getting back onto the sand and letting the sun bake her. Again, I say, this has no business being this good. I'm really liking Cam. Like, he just sounds so cute and tall, and I just want Belly to be with him, but also like it's super confusing because Jeremiah and Conrad, especially Conrad, Jesus Christ. These scenes, he and Belly have like a fight kind of, and there's a quote in here. I wondered if this was the way old crushes died, with a whimper slowly and then just like that, gone. Jenny Han, what are you doing? They're going skinny dipping. Oh my god, it was Belly's idea. So Cam's still fine. I mean, he jumped on it eagerly. Jesus Christ. She like got this idea so suddenly. Oh my god. This book makes me feel like I'm young again. I'm literally 23. Okay, wait, never mind. Now he doesn't want to. And Belly wants to ask him if he's gay. I can't get over this. Oh my god. So they have this fight because Cam doesn't want to go skinny dipping like he thought he did. And so Belly's angry. And then the next day she goes down to the beach and she finds a water bottle, the same brand Cam is always drinking. And she finds a piece of paper inside of it. A message in a bottle, and it says, "I owe you one skinny dip." Isn't that cute? Hi. Cats don't eat cherries. I actually don't think you can safely. They're not even that good. Why are you the way that you are? If Message in a Bottle doesn't play during that part in the TV show, I'm fucking suing. Also, that part better be in the TV show. On the way home, Cam was hungry, so we stopped for fried clams. Cam is vegetarian. There's like some weird inconsistencies in this. Okay, I'm starting to understand how Cam is like kind of like a side quest. I mean, he doesn't pertain to the main storyline. I do like him as a character though. What the fuck? What the fuck? I did not see this ending. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but like this is it's sudden. It's sudden. We didn't see enough of the present time. We just didn't. There were so many flashbacks and it did kind of contribute to establishing the setting, but we didn't see enough of the present to really know or expect what was going to actually happen at the end. I hope that changes in the next two books. I hope there are no flashbacks at all because I just want to know what's happening in the present. Like, we've had enough background in the first book. I'm ready for the main plot line. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Why? Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Ah! Oh my god. This is like just killing me. His brooding James Dean routine. Alexa, play Style by Taylor Swift. I like how you can see the sun coming up behind me. You just want to keep me on this hook, right? So I'll keep chasing after you and you can feel good about yourself. As soon as I start to get over you, you just reel me back in. You're so screwed up in the head. I mean, that's relatable. Oh my god, I feel like Lily in that one scene from Hannah Montana with Jake. Oh my god, this ending. You want to have your cake and eat it too, but you also want your cookies and your ice cream. Oh. Things are falling into place and oh my god, Conrad is an asshole. If the conclusion Belly just came to is what is happening, oh my god, he's an asshole. Getting drunk and sulking like a little kid. I don't think little kids get drunk. Family problems? Oh my god, this is like insane. This is, Jesus, it's like not even the last chapter. How could you possibly go from here? Oh geez, no. This is not what I expected. Princess, can you sense my distress? Oh my god, you've got to be shitting me. Do you need something? Okay, so the end of the second to last chapter, we've got a grief makeout. Okay, that's the vibe we're dealing with now. Okay, I finished it. I think that's a 4-star. A very solid 4 stars. I'm not the age demographic for this. I am like 10 years older than the target audience, but it was so fun. Like, I couldn't stop reading. I was just turning through the chapters like crazy. The twist at the end, I kind of a little bit saw it coming because there is like one hint that's dropped in the beginning that to me was very obvious, and it is kind of sad. And then the ending, I'm confused, but it leaves such possibilities for the second book. Like the very last chapter, it takes place during the winter, which the rest of the book was entirely over summers or summers past. There's way more pining with Conrad. If I was reading this when I was younger, I definitely would have been team Conrad because like it's nice to be going after what you can't have. But the way Jeremiah like confessed everything to her, I don't know, but she was always so obsessed with Conrad. I feel like she's gonna end up with Conrad. That's weird though. He's really moody. I really like a relationship that's built on friendship, but you know, if I was 13, I might not have that view. I was really into that toxic shit when I was younger. I am very glad I enjoyed this because as I get older, I'm afraid like, oh shit, am I only gonna like books marketed towards like older people? Like, is my genre of books that I enjoy going to become slimmer and slimmer as I get older? And I'm thanking God that that's not what's happening. I mean, I reread Twilight recently and it was bad. Like, it was really bad. But this was so fun. I'm just very relieved that I can still read this genre, especially for the first time and not just like rereading something for the nostalgia, and I can like have a good time. But then I started thinking like, am I gonna enjoy the other two? Because there's only so much you can do with like a teenage love triangle. I mean, I'm really intrigued because I love the writing style. I'm just hoping my excitement stays consistent the whole way through. That was really freaking good. I think I'm going to go into a spoiler section now just for the first book. So if you would like to skip the spoiler section, I will have a timestamp down below to see my vlog for the second book. I mean, I knew Susanna was sick again because in the beginning, Belly says, wow, you look thin, partly because it's true, partly because she's always on like diets and trying to look thinner. And I was like, it's so weird that that is a compliment, especially back in like 2009 diet culture. We weren't as aware of its toxicity then. That's kind of an awful thing to say to someone who's had cancer before. Yeah, there was a reason she did look thin, considering it came back. Oh God, it was so cringy to read her confronting Conrad and thinking his like mopiness was about her, but it was like about his mom, and he was like kind of rejecting her in some ways, and then they end up kissing after like Jeremiah confesses his feelings for her. It got really, really messy. I feel more team Jeremiah currently, but then that ending scene was with Conrad, and it's like, oh my God, what's happening next? And I want to know really bad. It's messy. It's really messy. And then there's Cam, and he kept trying to hang out with her before she left the summer house. Oh my God, I feel bad for him. He was really sweet. This is really messy. Jesus, I really thought Conrad didn't like her back, and I was like, well, really, she needs to go with Jeremiah. This was so fun. I'm excited to get into the second book. I think I'm gonna start. It's 7 a.m. and I haven't slept yet, and I still have work to do, and I just like a few chapters. I can't stop. I can't stop. I am one chapter in. I have learned what the title "It's Not Summer Without You" means, and I am not a fan. I also find the blurb kind of funny. Conrad ran away, and that's gonna be interesting. I am intrigued. Also, the fact that the blurb says if this is the last summer, it needs to end with the three of them back where it all started at the beach house. Are they just ignoring Belly's brother Steven? Like it was the four of them. I mean, I was kind of annoyed when I read the first book and it was like not just the three of them, which is what I always thought it was, but like she had a brother and it was like weird. Anyways, yeah, I find it kind of funny that now they're like completely ignoring him. I'm a fan of it. I'm a fan. I mean, just get down to exactly what needs to be happening in your plot. Forget the side characters. They really forgot a side character in this one, but I'm not happy about that one. Okay, I'm going to bed. The day I decide to finally do some reading on the covered porch, it's thunderstorming, but there's so many clouds in this direction. Like the other side of the sky is completely clear. Princess, it's gonna be fine. So it's dark, but we're gonna get what we can anyways. This is such a nice vibey place. It's just kind of hot in here, so I'm probably not gonna be out here for that long, but I'm making it happen. We've got a cute little reading nook over here. Ignore my mom's hammer. Yeah, this could work. This is about as summertime as it's gonna get, you guys. It's like 83 degrees in here alone. This ceiling fan doesn't work. It's just for decoration. Okay, now it's actually getting dark. The beginning of this book is kind of heavy again. I mean, the ending of the first one was also kind of heavy. I don't think this is that much of a spoiler because it's still not completely finalized, but like she has a thing going on with the older brother. I don't know if that's who she ends up with. Like there's still the entirety of this book and also one more book, so things could change. It's kind of unsatisfying because it's like this book I was mostly interested in this like pining, so now that they're actually like defined kind of, not completely, it's not as interesting. But then things got weird again after the school year because like they got together at the end of the summer kind of, and then things were fine during the school year, and then something really bad happened before the next summer, and now I guess they're not talking. And Taylor, who is Belly's best friend, is trying to cheer her up and get her to go out with other guys, and Belly's not interested. That's where I am right now. It's getting too dark. I'm gonna go back inside and read in my bedroom probably. Maybe I should have just sat against this and read against this, and then we could pretend together that I am at the beach. Okay, so this book is told in alternating perspectives between we had Belly and now we have Jeremiah. Oh my God, it's sad. Ah! This is not what I expected from this series. This is like getting intense. Man, I'm getting sad. I didn't want this. I wanted something light and fun and atmospheric like the first one. This is just really coming of age. This book and this series is mostly about first love and heartbreak, and that's the main theme. But then in the second one, it's kind of like comparing that pain to the actual true heartbreaks in life, like losing someone you love permanently. No heartbreak you have can compare to that, like true actual grief grief. Jesus Christ, why is it written so well too? I mean, it's not like a masterpiece of the single tier. It's just really relatable and like written in a very simple, to the point, and articulate way. It's concise. Ugh! I didn't want this one to start like this. I knew I had a reason to be scared. Conrad is an asshole and Jeremiah is so cute. So cute and fun. That's all there is to it, really. Okay, Belly's irritating me a little bit now. When she's trying to get Conrad to go to prom with her, she says like, it's fine, there are a bunch of other guys I could go with, and he said, never mind, I'll take you. She could have stopped there. She could have quit while she was ahead. And Conrad's shitty, so don't get my words twisted here, but the way she then goes on to say like, oh yeah, Corey Wheeler could take me, he's taller than you, he's a really good dancer, like, you're doing the most, and like, you already have him where you want him. Like, quit while you're ahead, girl. She is in so deep, so bad. We broke up, I said. In a way, it was exciting to hear it said out loud, because if we were broken up, that meant that at one point we had been together. We were real. That's so bad. Like, this is really bad. Where's Jeremiah? God, he would be so fun to take to prom. Are you kidding me? I'm team Jeremiah. I've made my decision. So this one is doing flashbacks again too, but it's not nearly as confusing because it's just flashing back to the previous winter, because we already had such a background in the first book. I'm assuming each of these books are going to take place like one summer after the other, like 3 years in a row. The author kind of has to catch us up on what happened during the school year and during the winter time, which makes me happy because a character that is no longer in the book is appearing in those flashbacks. So that's satisfying. I think it is much less confusing than the first one, because the first book had to cover like her entire childhood and not just the previous school year. Conrad has gone missing. This is not a spoiler. It's in like the blurb on Goodreads. So Jeremiah and Belly go to his dorm room like to find him at his college campus, and they find this girl there who's friends with him. They ask her, did he say anything to you? And she said, I think he said he was going to the beach to surf or something. He's so crazy. Surfing is so crazy. You crazy, crazy girl. Please tell me you get that reference. I forgot to say this last night after I finished the first book. This morning, I guess. But it reminds me of the last song, which is devastating, but beach house, sad times, you know. I'm liking Jeremy more and more because they discover where they think Conrad is, and Jeremiah really wants Belly to come with him to find Conrad and help him. He doesn't let that jealousy like get in the way of wanting to help his brother. Like, he knows that his brother does feel things for Belly, and having Belly there would be helpful, and he doesn't let his jealousy overtake him. Like, he thinks like, this is the best thing to do for my brother. It doesn't matter if they like rekindle a romance or something. It doesn't bother him. Why is he so precious? Belly's decision making is like, I don't know, some of her internal thought processes are starting to irritate me. She finds this necklace in Conrad's dorm room, but there's like some background attached to it, and that makes her believe it's hers, that he was gonna give to her, and so she just puts it on. Like, she just takes it and puts it on. Like, leave it in the box. I don't know. I have this weird feeling that something's gonna go wrong. Like, she's putting it on to go save Conrad. She took it out of his room. That's not cool. Now I'm eating a chili mango popsicle while I'm reading. That's a summer activity, right? Oh my god, it's like if you want something sweet but you also can't stop eating tahini like it's candy, this is what you need, you know? I just woke up and this is my last like beachy shirt that I have. My dedication, you guys, 4 beachy shirts in a row. This one's really cute. I like the design. My plan for today was going to be to pick my parents up at the airport, but they were not able to get out of Dallas. That airport is just a waste of time. You can never get out of it. So because of that, my schedule does look pretty light today. I have like a little bit of work I need to do, but other than that, I will have a lot of time for reading, so I'm hoping this is the last day of this vlog. That's why I busted this out. I'm less than 100 pages before I finish the second book, and then I just have the third book, and I'm really flying through them because I just really enjoy them. I think they're a lot of fun. Okay, I'm just gonna go grab some food and then come back, do some work, and then just start reading. Okay, so I went and ate. I'm gonna put video up of my food now. I just had ramen and some vegetable dumplings, and I came home to find out that my parents are just very, very stuck at the Dallas airport, so I'm not even gonna have to pick them up at all. They are driving here in a rental car. By the time they get here, they will have been up for 24 hours. So that's exciting. I'm just gonna read and relax until then. I'm glad I'm just comfortable at home and well rested. You know, it's cozy hours now. I still have the house to myself. I wasn't expecting to. Let's continue. I'm so close to being done with this one. At the end of this chapter, Belly says, I didn't want to make the same mistakes my parents made. I didn't want my love to fade away one day like an old scar. I wanted it to burn forever. The same mistakes my parents made. You said we'll never make my parents' mistakes. Mine by Taylor Swift. I hope that song's in the series now. Oh my god. At least I didn't give away my virginity to a guy who shaves his legs because he's on the swim team. Jesus, that was a low blow. He took me by the hand and grabbed the bottle of tequila and said, let's get out of here. Okay, maybe now things are happening with Jeremiah more so than Conrad, getting more into a real triangle, because up to this point it's a lot of family issues and like mostly her and Conrad. Now Jeremiah, we have his point of view. I feel like things are going to be like shifting more towards him now, and then ultimately in the third book it tells you who she ends up with. Here I am again at 2 a.m. reading this book at the kitchen table and eating some kind of frozen dessert. When Laurel says excuse me but fuck you to Mr. Fisher, oh my god. And all of the kids' reactions are included, like the way Jeremiah got kind of like concerned, Belly like slapped her hand over her mouth, and Conrad was just like eyes shining and he was like shaking his head in awe. Also, the drama in this book is entirely like the parents. Most of the drama in this series so far is like the parents. I'm a few chapters away from being finished, I guess. It's not as interesting as the first one. I mean, it's okay. Conrad's kind of assholey. Jeremiah seems really sweet. I hope we do get Conrad's perspective at some point, because we've gotten Jeremiah for a few chapters. There's like a sweet, cute little banter going on between Jeremiah and Belly while Conrad is in the backseat studying, and like he's feeling left out, like you can kind of tell. And yeah, I'm really thinking this is setting it up for like something to happen with Jeremiah. You know, just very standard love triangle-y things. Oh my god, I was right. Oh my god, this scene. Jesus Christ, it's a scene with Belly and Jeremiah. Oh my god, just like the conversation and then lead up and then just like a sudden kiss. Okay. Oh my god, she liked it. This is messy. Conrad saw. I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it. Oh my god. Okay, it serves him right though. I mean, I do feel kind of bad because like he's going through some tough stuff. Oh my god, he saw it. Well, I mean, obviously, like you're gonna be waiting for him in the car. You're both gonna be in the front seat and you're just gonna like start making out. Like what do you expect? I knew that necklace she stole out of his room was gonna make things messier. And I was right. You can't just kiss his brother while wearing his necklace. You can't do that. And that made me want to die. So much Taylor Swift in this book. Princess senses some tension. It's so grounding to just touch your pet, like to just hold her. Dopamine. I just thought it was really funny that like they're not able to continue driving where they need to be driving, so they stop at a motel. I have cat hair in my mouth, thanks princess. So her mom calls her and says, just go to sleep and get up first thing. Get up first thing. What else would you do first thing in the morning? I don't think she has a choice. There's also a few typos in this one. It's like only a little bit bothering me. Still not as bad as From Lukov with Love though. Also, if the first book reminded me of the last song, this one kind of reminds me of Paper Towns. Are they really doing a, yes, my cat is still, she's rubbing the freaking camera. Are they really doing a there's only one bed trope, but with a love triangle where the two of them are brothers? Princess, this is ridiculous. I can't believe this is serious. We think this shit is crazy. She's sleeping in the bed and the boys are sleeping on the floor on either side of her, and immediately Jeremiah falls asleep. He's not losing any sleep over this situation where he literally kissed Belly in front of Conrad. But then on the other side, Conrad is awake and he says, earlier when I said I never wanted you, I didn't mean it. Jesus Christ. These people. I'm on the last chapter. I haven't read it yet, but like this bitch is fucking ridiculous. She just gave this whole paragraph a couple chapters ago where she said, that was when I realized that it doesn't mean enough for someone to love you, like for her to think like, okay, maybe deep down Conrad does love me, because when it comes down to it, it's all about action and what he actually does to show that and actually showing up for her. And I'm like, finally, some gears turning. And so then it just seemed like really good with Jeremiah. And then Conrad says this to her in the night with the one bed trope, and she just like falls right back into that stupid trap. And it's so ridiculous because I don't even see what is so good about her and Conrad together even. They have no chemistry. Jeremiah's over here like knowing exactly what she wants to eat, all of her favorite things, like he remembers everything about her and like senses things about her before she even knows. I understand Conrad's like the smart one who gets A's, but like socially it's like there's no brain activity going on there. There's no chemistry. Okay, it was kind of cute in the very beginning when Belly asks him to quit smoking and he said, what'll you give me if I do? I mean, I know that's an iconic line everyone loves from the TV show, but other than that, like I just don't see it. And like there's just so much cute memories between them. It's so like childhood friends to lovers. And with her and Conrad, it's not even like it's a contrasting enemies to lovers. It's more like she worshipped him so much and he just kind of treats her like shit and like doesn't show any emotion. I'm not feeling it. But she's in it so deep that I don't see how she's not gonna end up with Conrad. Okay, now the next morning she's all hopeful because of him saying this to her last night, and he's like cold again. What did you expect? What did you expect? He's gonna get a ride with someone else and Jeremiah is gonna take her home. It just like seems obvious, and she's saying, so that was it, we were finally over, like her and Conrad. I will never look at you in in the same way ever again. I'll never be that girl again. The girl who comes running back every time you push her away. Is she telling the truth? I have a feeling she's not telling the truth. Ooh, yes, girl. She takes off with Jeremiah. Right there, I felt it. The glow. The satisfaction of being the one who left first. Finally. Now, like, cut your losses. Please quit while you're ahead. There's a chapter at the end. Okay, so I don't think this is a spoiler because it's like the middle of the series. Sure, it's kind of the plot of the second book, but if I'm being honest with you, the second book doesn't really have a plot other than them trying to come together to achieve this goal. I'm not going to give away what that is because that I feel like is the plot of this book. However, at the end, it's like skewing more towards Jeremiah now, as I said. Obviously, there's an entire book left, so things could really just be going either way. But there's a really weird chapter at the end. It says a couple of years later. I didn't picture anything this way. Me in a white dress in the pouring rain running for the car. She said when she used to picture forever, it was always with the same boy. Him running ahead of her and opening the passenger door. He asks her, "Are you sure?" She says no and gets in. The future is unclear, but it's still mine. Is this her getting married? Is she running away from a wedding? What is going on? It doesn't give anything away. I want to say like 3.5. Not much happened. It was like one major thing that really wasn't that jaw-dropping. That was like the climax, I guess. And it had more to do with like their families. Not much development going on with the love triangle. It wasn't really about the romance as much until towards the end, as I explained, which really sets it up for the third book, her having to choose, blah, blah, blah. I can kind of predict how that's going to go. I feel like it's going to be Conrad. I hate that, but I feel like that's what's going to happen. It was really fun. It was just as fun as the first one, which makes me want to give it 4 stars, but it wasn't as complex and interesting. Like, I loved all of the childhood flashbacks. Now that I've read a book without as many childhood flashbacks, I'm like, maybe I actually did like that. It just kept things really interesting, and this book starts off just like sad as hell. The first one didn't. It ended sad as hell. I like the first one better. I really don't have many thoughts. I mean, Susanna's husband, Mr. Fisher, is an asshole, like literally trying to sell that house. Belly's mom saved the day. Are we surprised? Both of those women, those mothers, were just amazing mothers. I can't imagine what that would have been like to be spending your summers with those 2 women being like your guardians every summer. That just had to have been an amazing way to grow up. I teared up a little more at this one with Susanna being dead, especially when Jeremiah was talking to Belly in the grass on campus about how much he misses her. That hit me a little. I feel very bad for these boys, even though Conrad irritates me. I understand it's awful what he's going through. I also think it's ridiculous when people like Mr. Fisher try to get rid of everything after a person dies. And I understand if those things are his alone and he just doesn't want to deal with them. He could give them to people who want to remember this person by those things. Like, he could pass them on to his sons. Like the house, for example. He wants to just get rid of it because it reminds him of his wife, and his sons want to keep it because they want to remember their mother. They're very young. Like, to keep this house, like to pass it down through the generations, I think is an amazing idea. And then when they're old, they'll still have this house if they choose to, and they can still remember their mom who they lost so long ago. Like, I don't understand why he's being so selfish. He could get rid of it and just giving it to his sons, and then he'll never have to show up again. It can just be the thing for the boys. He can just hang out with them elsewhere. He never was even at that summer house much anyway, so I don't understand how it reminds him so much of her. Yeah, that was pissing me off a little. I hate when people try to force others to grieve the same way they do. I think that's my only spoiler. I mean, that was the main plot of this book. Okay, so I read 1 chapter of the 3rd book here, and I feel like I know exactly what's going to happen. So this flashes forward 2 years, just like the end of the 2nd book did when I talked about that whole white dress scene I was confused about. I feel like the freaking blurb gives it away. It says it's been 2 years, so she's now going to college with Jeremiah and also Taylor, the best friend that's like kind of shitty. So they're all going to college together. I guess Conrad's at the other university because he would be a junior at this point. So they're going to college together. They've been together for 2 whole years. Conrad has not gotten over the mistake he made when he let her go. So when Belly and Jeremiah decide to make things forever, so they're gonna get married as undergrads. I thought this was New England, not the Bible Belt. So Conrad realizes it's now or never. He has to tell Belly he loves her or lose her for good. He yells, "Stop the wedding," I bet. And that's that ending scene from the 2nd book. That's my prediction. I feel like this is exactly what happens. I wouldn't say this is a spoiler because obviously it's unconfirmed. Also, it talks about each brother is keeping a secret, and it says Jeremiah makes a mistake that like is the worst mistake a boy can make. He cheats on her. She finds out at the wedding, runs away with Conrad. I'm calling it. Conrad's secret is just that he's like loved her this whole time, but like he's a piece of shit. So I feel like they're just giving it away. Unless like I'm not reading this right, but I don't understand how else you're supposed to be reading this. Another point to back up my prediction for her choosing Conrad is that in the very first scene, she comes back from her final, like in the time jump, end of her freshman year. Jeremiah's sleeping in her bed. She like falls asleep with him. time, Junior Mint, the bear that Conrad won her, is in the bed with them. Like, I understand if she wanted to keep it because it's like her childhood and they were like friends. I see her keeping it, but she even brought it to college with her. Come on, come on. Hi everyone, it's the next day. If I look wrecked, it's because I kind of am. My parents came back today and my mom woke me up because she was starving and I was not hungry, but I went and ate with her anyways. And then I came home and I took a nap. I didn't do any of the reading that I expected I would do, but I did kind of read before I went to bed, so I am 86 pages in. Let's just say it's more or less going how I thought it would go. The characters have become intolerable, in my opinion. It kind of seems like Conrad and Jeremiah have switched personalities. Well, maybe not like switched personalities, because Jeremiah is not cold now like Conrad was, but he's like sleazy. He's just disgusting, and like the way he's described. It's also kind of sad to me that they describe him liking to eat Indian food now, and Belly doesn't like Indian food, and it's such a like inconvenience for her. It's kind of like those small things once you get 2 years into a relationship, and it's kind of painted out to be like, oh well, it means he's not perfect for you, he's not the one, when it's like that's just the realities of a relationship. There will be some things one of you likes and the other doesn't. Jeremiah's just like gross now. There is a major thing that happens. I don't see how else to have her end up with Conrad, which I think is what's going to happen, than to have Jeremiah just fuck up epically, because he's such a good character that they have to just make him awful. And I think they did that semi-successfully because people change a lot in college. Like, it's just very possible to go in a completely different person than you are 2 years later. So it's kind of an excuse for him to become disgusting. He becomes a frat boy, first of all, which is just red flag number one. They set up this formula that just makes it very easy for her to like leave him because he's changed. At least I think that's what's going to happen. And Conrad is like, he's looking better than ever, let's just say. He's a junior now. He's definitely not giving the vibes of freshman Conrad. He's changed in a better way. He also transferred to California. He's looking like the better option, and I kind of predicted they would have to like switch personalities for the reader to not be angry with this shift. Yeah, it's really just a bunch of little things that Jeremiah is doing. It's like too convenient. I hate that they're doing this character assassination of him. Also, Belly is being so stupid. It like blows my mind. Like, you go to college for 1 year and you get dumber. Oh my god, we're getting Conrad's perspective finally. And yes, I'm shifting my opinion because the character assassinated Jeremiah and he and Belly are just acting stupid. They're too young for any of this dumb stuff they're deciding on doing. And the very first thing he talks about is like a romanticization of Belly. I mean, Conrad's still kind of a flake, at least at this point in the book, but he's not cold anymore, which is weird. It doesn't feel like his character. It feels like a different character. Belly's mom, oh my god. She's got some brain activity going on. That's in character, and thank god, because Belly is not showing any gears turning. I mean, they're acting like children. I mean, they are children. They're like 19. Okay, thank god the parents are like being like good parents. This is messy, but like with family relations, which has been a consistent theme in this book, even though it's not one you're expecting out of this book. Okay, I'm going to continue to read and give you an update later. I mean, I know where this is going. Okay, I'm really liking Taylor in this book. She was kind of bratty when she was in high school, but they worked out some issues when they had that big fight before senior year where they stopped kind of being codependent on each other. And Belly framed it out to be like it was entirely Belly who was codependent on Taylor, but Taylor would always be like, you keep your summer house and your summer boys to yourself. Like, Belly can have parts of her life that are separate from Taylor, and I think she showed a lot of growth. Also, her reaction to all this crap that happens to Belly while they're in college, it's just like peak best friend, and she just seems to really know when to come through, even though they're no longer sharing every aspect of their lives with each other. I don't know, I like her growth. I mean, she's still kind of like a materialistic person, but I think some people are just like that. I don't think we need to fault them for it. She likes shopping, big deal. It's not a crime to like really feminine things, but it contrasts with Belly's kind of N-log energy, so I see where that dynamic is coming from. It's just so stupid that that's despised in Taylor when it's like, a girl can like shopping. Don't we love the early 2010s? Oh, Belly's going to go back to Cousins Beach and stay there, while Conrad is also staying there for the summer, and Jeremiah has to be somewhere else for his internship. I'm seeing the pieces coming together, and Jeremiah is also jealous. He's reconsidering having Belly stay there because Conrad is there. Where's Cam? Where's he? The nice vegetarian boy who speaks French? Also, my favorite character in this book is the house. The only scenes I really like are happening in the summer house. Everything else is just like filler to me. Jeremiah and Belly can't even get an apartment because they either have such bad credit or no credit. Like, make it make sense. Okay, I'm doing a spoiler section right here. I need to. Belly's father is trying to get a compromise together where she just lives with Jeremiah, because why are you getting married before even living together? Like, this is an insane decision and she should take this compromise. And he's asking like, why are you even getting married? And she's saying, I don't just want to live in an apartment with him. That's not why we're getting married. Her mom's asking, why are you getting married? We love each other. We've thought it through. We really have. Like, no, this was all because he cheated on her and now it's some kind of weird makeup for that. This is insanity. Who paid for that ring? I know Jeremiah doesn't have a job. He used his credit card, she says. This is insane. Is he gonna use his credit card for the wedding? Like, this, oh my god, the financial decisions to start off your adult life like that. I swear to god, he wasn't this stupid in the previous book, so neither was she. I don't think it classifies as cheating what Jeremiah did because they were on a break. Not to be like that one Friends scene, we were on a break. However, it should definitely be a sign to Belly that like he just didn't care that whole week they were broken up. Like, she was crying at home and he was in Cabo doing this. I feel like this is a sign, and she takes it and she decides to get married. This is not the correct interpretation of this. Like, you need to understand this as like he does not care whether he's with you or not. He's not gonna have a difference in his emotions, obviously, if he just goes and does this. And his excuse was like, oh, she was following me around, I didn't really want to. Like, either say it with your gut and say you were SA'd and there was no consent there, or just say it like, yeah, I did it. Like, freaking own it. It's just, oh my god. They were on a break, but it's very telling what he actually thinks of her. So, god, she needs to leave him. Belly's already having an aversion to the idea of a bachelor party. She says, oh, Jared doesn't want any of that. She's nervous. It's like, this is just so ridiculous that this is her move when she finds this out about him. Get the two couples therapy. Both of them need to go to therapy. Their tuition pays for it. Okay, first of all, I think she's actually 18 at this point because her birthday's at the end of summer. Yeah, so she's like the youngest in her grade because she has an end of summer birthday. So she is literally 18. And Steven says to her, you realize that's insane, right? We're not living in the foothills of West Virginia. There's no reason you have to get married so young. That's literally what I said earlier. I appreciate that Taylor's the only person being slightly supportive, but I also feel like she needs to tell Belly like it is. Hey, like, I will come, I will help you plan this wedding, I will be supportive, but I also agree with your mother. You're being low-key insane. Just like make her thoughts known, because this, as I said, it's insane. No other way to say this. I could get married, I could quit my job, I was a big girl now, I didn't have to ask for her mom's permission. My mother was no longer all-powerful. Part of me wished she still could be. Just freaking say no. Just say you don't want to do this. I don't understand what's so difficult. Conrad says he was marrying my girl and I couldn't do anything about it. Oh my god. This is so awkward, I could scream. Jeremiah wants the wedding to be Quentin Tarantino themed. He wants the music from those movies to be their first dance. And then he's like mad that Taylor is helping so much and he's like, oh, do you need to check with Taylor? And Belly's like, she's the one that's actually helping. Like, Jeremiah won't do anything because he's a child, just like Belly. He calls her Bridezilla. And then he like eats food off of her plate. And so she ate the last scallop on her plate before he could take that one too. Then she grabbed a bunch of fries off of his plate, even though she had fries of her own. He said, you've got your own fries. And they're doing all of this out of spite. This is what happens when you have a child wedding. Oh my god, there's the stereotypical old guy in here who's like, well, son, she's getting married. Like, you gotta do something about it. You love her, right? Like, just, I feel like that's a trope. I don't know what it's called though. Okay, Conrad is too late though. Like, for him to only say this now that she's getting married. I've seen guys who are only interested in girls once they're not available and they're not interested at all when they're actually single. They both suck. Oh my god, Conrad is having like a moment with Belly's mom about like his mom. God, it's so sad. If I raised a single doubt now, that would be more than enough for her mom to put an end to it. She would throw me over her shoulder and carry me away from this whole wedding. She should though. She should just go off with her mom and like find vegetarian Cam. So it's the next day. Okay, so I'm not surprised at all. The only thing I really got wrong was I thought that the wedding would be called off because that's when Belly finds out that Jeremiah cheated on her. But surprise, she agrees to marry him right after finding out. So that's sketchy. I am very relieved she didn't just immediately start playing house with Jeremiah when she was so looking forward to being roommates with Annika and just having a more well-rounded college experience. That just would have been really horrible. I feel like you need to experience whatever you want to do when you are in college, when you are young. Like, she studied abroad without anyone to kind of hold her back. And that's not me saying you can't do this with a boyfriend, but with a husband, like if you've got a lease or a mortgage with this person, that's just the rest of your life. And once you move in with a significant other, it's like you either stay that way the rest of your life or you break up. And that's just an awful outcome for someone who's literally 18. Like, don't you want to experience other roommates, experience other places to live? It just feels so final to be moving in with a significant other at 18 and like that's just gonna be it. You're never gonna not be roommates with that person only. So it's the next day and I finished the series. I was not too far off, and I don't feel like this is a spoiler because the blurb literally gives a lot of plot points away other than who she actually ends up with. Each book just kind of progressively got worse. The first one was the best, the second one was still pretty good, and this one just character assassinated one of the characters and another one of them just became kind of bland. I'm not a huge fan of the majority of the character development because these first two books are like a year apart, and then the second one jumps like a 2-year span before the third one, and the characters just changed a lot. The author wrote with such a clear bias towards one of the boys from the very beginning of the third book that it's just really hard not to predict just from the very first page, honestly. The characters were not at all what they were in the first two books. I really liked how Taylor developed. She matured so much, and I just really like her as a best friend by the time the series ends. I feel like they're going to end up the kind of best friends that Susanna, Jeremy and Conrad's mom, and Belly's mom were. Laurel and Susanna, Taylor and Belly. I feel like the same kind of dynamic is being set up to happen in their future by the time the series ends. And Taylor's character development was really realistic because she stays a very girly girl. She still likes materialistic things, but she doesn't force Belly to also like those things. She stopped being so codependent on Belly. She stopped being judgmental of Belly. I like that change, but the boys were both trash. It started off I was favoring one of them because the other one was trash from the beginning, and then by the third one they just both were garbage, but there was an obvious bias towards one of them. However, we as the reader don't forget what that guy did in the first two books. I just want to know how Cam the vegetarian is doing, you know? The first book was just so fun and magical and youthful, and I actually thought that as the characters got older I would relate to them a little bit more because by the time it ends they are my age. Well, Belly's my age, but they somehow get even more immature. I like them better when they were children, and the writing just started losing me because of the character development that was really just like character regression, but whatever. It was a fun time. I rate the first two books 4 stars. The second one is kind of like 3.5, 3.75, but I'm rounding up because they both were still so much better than the third one. This one was 3 stars. I mean, it was enjoyable, it was fun, and it didn't put me in a slump or anything. It was still easy to get through and like a fun read. It just was upsetting when these two are just pretty iconic. Also, I started watching 2 episodes of the show and oh my god, Jeremiah is so charismatic. Like, Conrad is such a buzzkill. I don't understand how anyone can be Team Conrad like at that point in time. I'm really not looking forward to the character assassination of Jeremiah in this show. Like, he's just so good. They really did Jeremiah dirty. I don't know, maybe Conrad will improve in the show more than he did in the book. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Please let me know down below what other videos you might want to see from me. If you want to follow me on my Instagram, it is right here, and if you want to follow me on my TikTok, that is right here. I will see you all next week for another video, and I hope you have an amazing day. Bye guys. Run away to an island.